Well, just days until the November 2nd election, the city of Detroit says it is ready to welcome in voters.
And there's a lot on the line next week, but as Fox 2's Hillary Golson explains, you may not see as many Detroiters at the polls. Hillary.
That is right, Taryn and Roop. Next Tuesday, November 2nd, Detroiters will decide who will fill some of the city's top political jobs. Mayor, city clerk, and city council members, for example. There are also several proposals on the ballot. The city clerk, Janice Winfrey, claims that they've trained more than 3,500 poll workers and tested election day voting machines. But here is the rub. The headline here: turnout is only expected to be 15 to 20% of the electorate. Detroit's clerk Janice Winfrey saying her office expects to count about 50,000 absentee ballots and see roughly 25,000 Detroiters head to the polls to vote.
That's low. That's low for a municipal general.
Winfrey attributes expected low turnout to a number of factors, including the candidates themselves.
Candidates are responsible for voter turnout.
Dave Dulio, director of the Center for Civic Engagement at Oakland University, echoes this sentiment.
There just really isn't a competitive one out there. Mayor Duggan is expected to win going away, as are many of the city council seats that are being contested. Many of those are even unopposed.
Also, notoriously prolific and very high-profile corruption historically also has a chilling effect on turnout. Look no further than the federal indictment of Andre Spivey, who resigned from Detroit City Council after pleading guilty to bribery conspiracy.
Corruption plays a huge part in turnout. That's been proven over and over.
Gabe Leland was also forced to leave Detroit City Council and pleaded guilty to a state charge surrounding campaign contributions. The homes of Detroit City Council members Janae Ayers and Scott Benson searched in August. And we witnessed this scene: boxes and documents streaming out of Detroit City Hall as part of what the FBI is now labeling Operation Northern Hook, their probe into corruption in Detroit's government. And a day before this press conference, 2 Detroit police officers were charged with bribery in connection to an expanding probe into illegal towing practices in the city.
And frankly, this is the kind of thing that just drives the public crazy.
The August primary in 2020 cast Detroit's electoral system in a bad light, when more than 70% of absentee voting precincts had discrepancies. The number of ballots cast didn't match the number election workers recorded, a problem that led the Wayne County Board of Canvassers to ask the Secretary of State to step in.
Our goal for this election, as it was in the August primary, we want to make sure that all of our precincts and all of our absentee counting boards are 100% ballot.
Winfrey is, of course, a candidate herself, running as the incumbent against Denzel McCampbell. Charlie Langton spoke with Winfrey earlier about the $65,000 in liens on her Detroit home. I asked for an update.
Clerk, if we could just ask you about a story that certainly has made the rounds, the $65,000.
No, you cannot. I cannot talk personal. I'm the clerk.
You can't speak about that?
I cannot.
Okay. We wanted to make sure we asked.
Yeah.
All right.
You asked.
And in 2017, the last time we had major municipal elections in the city, voter turnout was roughly 21% in the city of Detroit. So as Dulio pointed out, reaching 20% turnout would not be terribly out of line with historical precedent. Keep in mind that many of the primaries this go around have been runaways. Mayor Mike Duggan garnered 72% of the vote. Taryn?
You have absentee votes. So what about those percentages? It seems like more people are choosing to vote absentee these days.
Yeah, it does seem that way. In fact, in our last election cycle, during the presidential election, 174,000 people voted absentee in the city of Detroit. Only 80,000 decided they should go to the polls. And remember, here in Detroit, because of what voters decided, we have no reason absentee voting. So if you want to have an absentee ballot, you can request that. So that's likely driving the numbers. Of course, Taryn, you know, it's more convenient. All of these things go into the factor of why someone would decide to vote absentee.
That's right, and Fox 2 will be covering it all until every last vote is counted. Thank you so much, Hillary.